Scoring all my goals. Who is this goalkeeper? Yeah. Because she's strong. Because she's... I've always wanted to do that. Okay. Hi guys. Welcome to my YouTube. The tubes of views. My name is Sharon Onyango-Obbo, and I am a human being who enjoys making music, mixing it, mastering it, and now apparently talking about it. You dig? I would like to share the backstory. I'm calling it the BTT. BTT, behind the tape, to Nyathi Paran, which is an EP I dropped on November 11th. My first EP as a production artist. So we're just going to be getting into a couple of things, you know what I'm saying? Talking about it. Yeah, without further ado, oh my gosh, I've always wanted to say this. Let's get into this video. First question. Also, you know the way most YouTubers are just like, yeah, so I asked you guys questions on my Instagram. I did not ask, nobody asked me. I am here by force. I asked myself these questions. So the first is, who are you? I am a music lover fundamentally. I think that's resulted into me pursuing it professionally and also, venturing off into several avenues within music. So production, mixing, mastering, project management, consultations, and in the shower, hey, I'm like Megan Thee Stallion. But yes, that's who I am and what I do. I also love avocados and I hate long walks on the beach. And I'm a Scorpio. Cool. So, first question I asked myself, why did you decide to make an EP as an artist? So, the reason I wanted to make Nyathi Paran is because I had a lot to express. You know what I'm saying? Hashtag espresso. I had a lot to espresso. I think producing other artists has always been a professional calling, certainly, but I never really thought that I would have anything to express or say, at least in a way that I would want to share. So yeah, like the past few years have been a bit crazy, yeah, oh my god, yeah. And yeah, I was about to say summer, but why am I pretending? See, to go Africa. June, July, August 2022, I was in UG and I had a lot of very interesting experiences, met great people. And I just felt like all of those experiences really molded me into a different person. And I also feel like more on like the egotistical side, like there's this thing of like producers being in the back. Most of my favorite producers, engineers, like we all started from a core love for music. So that's why. What does being an artist mean to you? Hey, banange, we're discovering slowly by slowly. You dig? I think it's just being able to say what you want, do what you want when you want to do it. I enjoy being able to create without having to wait on anybody or ask for any permissions. Probably now the most exciting part, which I'd like to get into, is explaining the backstory behind each song, starting with the first song, which is Three Much. Three Much basically came about, so it's like I'd really been struggling to make music over the past couple of years. I felt like I lost my sauce. I was like, Heinz, where is my sauce? And it just wasn't there. And I just felt like, hey guy, am I a hard guy? Am I a hard guy or am I a soft guy? So yeah, I just kind of like losing confidence in myself and then being reinvigorated and having all these experiences that really inspired me and made me want to make music again. That's exactly what happened. I started making a bunch of music and I was like, hey, I am too hard. Oh my god, yeah. Three Much is basically just me saying like, you guys, not only you guys, I'm too much, but more importantly, or rather more accurately, I'm three much. It was just sort of me reminding myself that I am a hardy guy. And I also had my uncle who shared with me a bunch of really cool field Foley recordings of like, guys just like chapaying stories. And so I put that on there to sort of like create this sonic scape. So that's Three Much. Then we move on to fodi bino. You guys, eh? There's this artist, Mao from nowhere, a really, really dope artist. He like tweeted this thing one time. He was just like, the amount of times I've had to put my heart in rice this year. I was like, you guy, yeah? Call me Basmati, because even me, I've had to put my heart in rice, yeah. Yeah, Fodi Kobino was Heartbreak Hotel. This is a so yeah, it's a song about just disappointment and just across several things, and just realizing that I'd been pedestalizing potential, and it was ghetto. I didn't want to do that anymore, so I stopped. Yeah, I basically made it one morning. Why am I sitting like, you know, the thinking man, the thinking engineer? I made it one morning when it was really gloomy and dark, and I was just there like, I was in my Sisian bag. First of all, Sisian, Wairimo Sisian, one of my best friends, fantastic artist, has an EP coming out soon. I was just in my Sisian bag, and I was just like in this weird space where I just wanted to make a sad song, insert tears. And the fun thing about this track is that I attempted to sing, because the plan was I wanted to record some demo vocals and then get her to sing on top of it. But then I just wound up leaving them in because I was so shy. I submerged them in there in the back. Kuna reverb mingi, because I didn't want you guys to hear me. So yeah, whenever you're going through anything, if you want to cry, a river. So that was Fodi Kubino. The third track was more of an interlude. It's called NPA Interlude with Josh Forehead. So I met Josh a couple of years ago, and I was like, oh my god, you're so cool. Do you want to be my friend? Or at the least, very least, musical acquaintances. So yeah, I've just been supporting his music for a very long time. Practically listened to every single song on SoundCloud, and we were hanging out one time a few years ago, and I just do this thing where I think I'm a therapist, and I was just like, so how are you doing, like physically, emotionally, and spiritually? And then he was just like, spiritually not too good. And I was like, and then he was just like, but I make music, you know what I mean? Insert Josh voice. I literally recorded this voice note ages ago, forgot about it, and then it almost went into a demo that I sent to Tai-Dai, but it didn't really fit that track. So when I was mastering, I actually made NPA Interlude when I was mastering the project, because I needed a transition between Fodi Kubino and Sacred. Yeah, I just wound up very quickly chopping up some things, and then that's how it came about. And yeah, it basically just talks about using music as a tool for growth and learning, basically. Then we go into my favorite track. Oh my god, guys, I'm saying it here, and yeah, you better listen, because Nabalayo is one of my favorite artists of all time. I'd literally been listening to her music without knowing who she was. The first conversation I had with Nabalayo, I cried. Ask her, I cried. Tears. Like, we were just chilling in the garden. I was just like, yeah, cool. Yes, I basically was hanging out with somebody, and I got home that night, and I was like, and I just started making this beat, which was like quite like staccato-esque. I actually sampled a Wizkid track because I chopped it up. You've officially been chopped and screwed, chopped it up, and then this person was just like really, really inspirational. Yeah, just like loads of fun. So I made the instrumental, and for months I really wanted to get Nabalayo on it, but I was scared. I was like, oh, like how am I going to ask her? I was like, I can't afford her, like, you know what I mean? But then I just hit her up one time, and Nabalayo is so quick, like with the quickness, she was just like, yeah, cool, let's do this. And then she was just like, I need some backstory into what the song is about. I told her what bag I was in. She literally encapsulated it so perfectly. So that's Sacred. And then the last track is Nairobi Vice with Alex Vice, the homie. Alex Vice is a producer, super cool guy, and I asked him for a bunch of samples, loops. Yes, I asked him for a bunch of loops, and he sent over several, and I really liked that one because it had like this Japanese sort of vibe. Yeah, it was just very unique. So I was probably very upset, I guess, because it's quite like a hard-hitting instrumental, and I made like a hip-hop track. Reminded me of like early 2000s Kenyan hip-hop, like you know, I could picture guys, you know, in a dancehall sort of thing. And the title Nairobi Vice, you guys, Nairobi has a lot of vices. I don't think you can say that you've lived in this city if you haven't. Yeah, so that is the entire project in a nutshell. Now onto the fun technical stuff.